Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Global Entertainment News Breakfast Show, your daily dose of news and updates. I am your host, Bella, and joining me on the studio today is
Sola.
we'll be taking today's top story from Punch and Vanguard newspaper. And today's top story from Punch is ATMs loaded with cash as 100 naira withdrawal fees begin. Banks are loading their ATMs with cash as they commence charging 100 naira per transaction on March 1st. The central bank released the revised ATM transaction fees, a circular date February 10, 2025. Under the revised fees, structured withdrawals from one's ATM bank ATM will remain free of charge. However, customers using ATM of other banks will be subjected to a charge of 100 naira per withdrawal of 20,000 naira or less at on-site ATMs, which are located within or direct affiliated with a bank branch. Off-site ATMs, which are positioned outside bank premises, such as shopping malls, fuel station, or other public space will attract an additional purchase of up to 500 naira per transaction.
Is this not too much?
That is what I'm
It's
about
just
to
too
say.
much.
That is what I'm about to say because right now, Nigeria is not even in a good state right now to say that they
Want
wanted to start paying the fees of a withdrawal. While you have money in your accounts, you still needed to pay money to make
Imagine
a
someone that
withdrawal.
wants to withdraw 20,000 naira from, let me say, ShopRite or anything, now be paying a bank charges of 500 naira. It's just too much. We are facing a lot now to be adding this to it.
Exactly. The government is not really helping the citizen right now. I don't even think the government is helping us because at this moment that the Nigerian economic is sinking down, I'm not even expecting this to be applied to it right now. We are already facing the telecommunication tariff hike, the fuel hike, the electricity hike, the educational, and everything is hiking. Not at this moment, please. We are
Not at all.
we are tired of everything right now. Well, let's move on. Local government funding. Government agency brainstorm as direct payment suffer setback. The Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madin, and the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi San, has commenced talk on the implementation of July 11, 2024 Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy as directed allocation disbursement to the 7,774 local governments continue to suffer delay. In a move to enforce the verdict, the two senior officers has been holding consultation on the modalities for submitting local government bank accounts for direct payment of council allocation but are reporting facing challenges identifying local government with democratically elected officials. Now the local government is also suffering their own part of their own how will I say their own part of agreement for the parties because right now I don't know what is the delay or the setback is all about, but it feels like those people are they have already dedicated themselves to the government to be part of this and then they are working.
They put themselves into this. So if they are actually facing it, there's nobody that will judge them. Because we, the citizens, we are even facing much more than them. So if they are facing this,
If the federal government are not being delays of their pay,
Payments.
why will the local government be delayed facing a setback of their payments? Why? Everything in Nigeria needed to be put
In
accordingly
place.
and set. The health sector are complaining
Payment.
of payment. The educational sector are complaining of delayed payment, and even the retirees are still complaining of their payments.
Yeah.
What is all this money, the tax payment and all that money is being used for? Nothing is being improved about it. Oh my God. Let's move on. My adopters threatened to marry me, took my uniform, copper. A National Youth Service Corps member, Rafiat Lawal, who was adopted along Benin-Ore Expressway last Tuesday, has disclosed that her adopters threatened to force her into marriage and take her to Sokoto if her family refused to pay a ransom. This is just a this is just as she narrated that one of the adopters, who are Fulani, took her NYC uniform and wore it. Reports that Rufiat was adopted on her way to her place of primary assignment in Oyo State while coming from Edo State. The adopter immediately demanded a ransom of 20 million naira, but after several negotiations, they reduced it to 5 million.
Last week when I heard about this ransom of it, I was like, where did the family wants to get the
See,
20 million
20 million
naira from?
naira from.
Now they've reduced it to 5 million, but still, if the government, or let me say, if the police want to do their work, they will have tracked these people down. But they are not ready to do anything. It is when it gets out of hand, that's when you see they will put their head there. If they want to do their work, they will have done this since last week. They will have
They,
even seen the girl
they,
since
they,
last week.
they have seen her. I think the 5 million naira has been paid for them. But
It,
what I'm really trying to look at right now, that she's saying that a Fulanese.
exactly, like the adopter still has the effrontery to wear the NYSC clothes.
No, that one is even part aside. Fulani is being involved in kidnapping
Kidnapping.
and all that. Like, what is those people? They are not part of Nigerians. The Fulanis are not part of Nigeria. So why would they have they coming into Nigeria and then start this terrorist of a thing and then kidnapping our people and then demanding ransom, and because they know that there's not going to be a law that is going to fight them, that is why they feels like it's okay for them to
They can't do anything.
do whatever they wanted to do, threatening her that if her family did not pay up, they are going to
To
marry
marry
her
her.
off to Sokoto, and they already make that is where they
And they
are.
felt marrying her off will make them safe. That's why I'm saying, if the government want to do their work, or let me say the police want to do their work, they will have seen this girl for a very long time since last week. They are not just they are not even ready to do anything, and it is a shame to our government and to the police officers.
Well, we just hope that all those things needs to, our government really needs to come into the picture and put those terrorists and all that into their
Places they should just
just drive them away. Well, let's move on. NANS threatening protest over Ramadan school closure in northern states. The National Association of Nigerian Students has threatened to embark on nationwide protests if the governor of Bauchi, Katsina, Kano, and Kebbi State do not reverse their decision to close down schools.
schools. Like, let me say, Christian also go to Muslim school. Imagine you now closing down the school for 5 weeks. How do you want them to cope?
They feels like Nigerian the religions in Nigeria is not just one, and then there are so many of it in Nigeria, and then it feels like how will I say that the Christian actually have a holidays when it comes to Christmas and
Holiday of
Easter.
2 days, just 2 days. It's not even up to 2 days. It's just the weekends.
Someone was trying to explain to them that the holidays that they were actually talking about is because the end of the year party and the school academic curriculum actually fall into that time. That is why there was a holiday. But it feels like the Muslim are not getting the rights they deserve to actually go on a holiday. They expect them to give them a 5 week. That is too
It's
much.
too much.
That is
It's just too
that
much.
is too much. If at all is Nigerian is just based on just one religious, which is the Muslim, then you're going to say that okay, they have the right, but at the same time, they don't have the right to say that religious is based on different parts, and while education has their own way.
There will even be a lot of setback in their educations, because if they even ask for a week, okay, it's understandable.
A week, yeah, it
A
can
week
even.
it can be understandable, but 5 weeks is too
But
much.
fasting to your God does not stop you not to do every other activities.
Yeah,
So why would you think that because you're fasting, you have to shut down the school for
schools.
5 good weeks because it feels like it's not giving them? If you are truly in your mind knowing that you are fasting to your God, whatever activities you are doing does not have to stop you not to
And if
concentrate
it
on
is
it.
if it is also their time to pray, no one is stopping them from praying. So why will they close down the school because they want to fast?
Oh God, Nigerians and religious is just something else. Let's move on. Group blames tanker accident on untrained driver. Weak regulation. The Fire Protection Association of Nigeria has raised concern over the increasing rate of tanker fire accidents in the country, attributing the incident to a lack of specialized training for drivers. The chairman of the board of fellow of the Nigerian, Peter Onyeri, who spoke to Punch online on Sunday, also noted that weak enforcement of regulation and mechanical design flaws in tanker construction have been major cause of the accident. Onyeri lamented that the accident has caused major disruption to economic and social activity, resulting in loss of life and destruction of property. He further criticized the current approach to trained tanker drivers, noting that many programmers fail to address critical human factors such as fatigue. Well, there's not just that fatigue alone. Those tanker drivers, like they consume a whole lot of
For
alcohols when
us,
they want to drive. Yeah. And talking about the training, I don't think that many Nigerians that wanted to drive a tanker, or the company that is employing them to drive a tanker, has the time to put them into training, because they feels like if you are going to have the a license of to be a driver, then there's no car that is big enough for you to drive. That is what Nigerian believes in. But the fact that we really need to have a conscious of whoever we are going to be employing into this work, we should make sure that we check them out what they are able and capable of doing, what they can do. Train them, even if it's going to be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because the life are gone, the property are being destroyed. You also are facing the loss.
to me, I believe they should go through series of tests. That's if the employers that are employing them have the time.
They have
Not all
there's
of them have the time. They will just be like, because I need this person in haste. Can you drive? If you know you can drive, oh yeah, move there. Go and do this, go and do that. So that is what is actually going on right now. They don't have the time to even check the person out. Is this person fit to drive? Does he have the capacity to drive? Because some of them, like when they start driving, they are absent-minded. They don't concentrate. Some of them will start pressing their phone. Some of them, like you said, they consume a lot of alcohols just because they want to gain the energy to drive overnight or through. And these things are actually spoiling their body that they don't know. But if they go through series of tests, all these things they will know in their body that okay, this person know this where he or she is lacking, this and this, and they'll be like, okay, you can't do this. Go and rest for some time. Go and do this. But no, they are not going through all those things. That's what is spoiling Nigeria up to today.
Well, you have a point there, and that is the reason why our government needed to make a strict and regulation for whichever company that they know they are into this tanker, and they should make sure that their drivers are capable of whatever
They are doing.
position are
Yeah.
being given to. Well, we have a top story from Vanguard newspaper. So the first top story we have: federal government inaugurates committee to curb boat mishap in Nigeria. In a bind to enhance safety on Nigerian inland waterway, the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, Mr. Adeboyinka Oyetola, has inaugurated a special committee on the prevention of boat mishap in Nigeria. So that, let me say, how will I even say it? Well, that was a good one as well. But at the same time, I feels like if this thing needed to actually be talked about, I feels like many of us that is actually we are so ignorant to the point that we don't want it to feels like an accident can occur on the waterway. Because how can you be on a boat and then you don't want it to put on a life jacket? If they tell
Mm-hmm.
if you are boarding a boat and then they tell you that there's no life jacket, you just be like, okay, let's keep on, let's continue. He speak more about the ceremony at the ministry conference room. Oyetola emphasized the urgent need to stem the tide of tragic boat mishap, which has resulted in a significant loss of life and property. He described the country waterway as vital to commerce, transportation, and livelihood, stressing that their safety and efficiency are paramount to the development of Nigerian blue economy.
The government also have a lot of work to do in this aspect, whereas we the citizen also have things to do also, because if you are driving a boat, there are some precautions you should take note. And if passengers are entering through inside the boat, you let them know that this and that. Some of them will be like, okay, I don't want to use this, but you will let them know that
It's quite important.
if they are going to enter this boat, you must use it or you go back, no matter the money. Let the security be alert. Anybody that is not going to use it, you drive them out. It's for their own safety, not for it's not only for the drivers that are driving the boat, but for the citizen. It's for their safety.
Well, talking about the people that is actually the captain of the boat as well, I feels like they also needed to be conscious of their own driving, because sometimes there is almost a fog around the sea
Wow.
that could not allow you to see
See through.
see through. Yes, so I expected that there should be a reduction of early transport, something like that, that you don't have to go out early on the sea when you know that there's going to be a fog covering the sea part. And as well, you have to make sure that you put on the rules and regulations that
Regulations.
no life jacket, no
No
entry.
entry.
um let's move on. Southeast stakeholder blame get rich quick syndrome for rise in ritual killing. The same Some stakeholders, including police command in Anambra, Ebonyi, and Enugu State, have attributed the recent rise in ritual killing to the get-rich-quick syndrome among youth in the southeast. The news agency of Nigeria report that ritual killing among the youth and other crimes such as armed robbery, kidnapping, and cultism has ravaged the zone recently. That, yeah, I think that is true, though. It's very, very true, because right now in Nigeria, I'm not going to say that even if the economic is sinking and then we are expecting more from our government, I still feels like this syndrome of getting rich quickly should not be so much among us, because there are still people you still needed to be contented with whatever amount that you're making. But because it feels like there's a peer pressure, your friends that you took graduated from the school is now making a millions of money, you are still here earning 30,000 naira. How will I make it? I needed to buy car, I needed to get house, and then it feels like you needed to find a way out to get money, even if it is by killing someone else to get rich. It's not supposed to be so. It's not supposed to be so. And then right now, I don't know if I should call on the government to say that this thing has to end, or I should call on the security agency or the youth, and I don't even know which one to do, because
Because
you
if the government wants to help us and the youth themselves
are not
are
helping
not helping
themselves.
themselves, so what do you want the government to do? What do
Exactly.
you want the security to do?
Well, whoever that is being caught of ritual killing, armed robbery,
All I just know that they used to
kidnapping,
say you set an example for others to learn. If you catch someone, just let them go through the right process.
yeah,
Justice should be served.
just let let them go through the right, like executing them or just.
Justice, if they need to be killed back, let them be killed asap. There is no, don't even think of it. Don't think
Oh
twice.
my god.
If someone kills someone and immediately the person is being killed, the other person that even wants to try it out will be scared that, if I'm being caught, I'm going to be executed straight up.
Well,
So he or she will think twice before doing it.
I think our government and the security agency in the country needed to come together and make arrangements of all those things that is happening in
Yeah.
Nigeria, because many people are afraid of their life now. They don't want it to be caught unaware. They don't want it to board the wrong bus. They don't want it to get into a one chance transportation and all that. Let's move on. How gunmen adopt four students near Castina Varsity. It was gathered that armed bandits stormed Harris Quarter behind the Federal University Dutchman at about 2:20 a.m. on Sunday in large numbers and whisked away the four students. Wow. The victims include Wali Kayode, 25 years, Fahad Mohammed, 20 years, Emmanuel, surname unknown, and another yet to be identified person. Security operatives were mobilized to the scene after a distress call was put to them, but the bandits had already fled. Security source says efforts were ongoing to track down the kidnappers and rescue the victims safely. In April 2021, gunmen attacked Greenfield University in Kaduna State, abducting at least 20 students and two staff members. Wow.
I don't, should I blame the police? Because
No,
the painful parts in this thing is that if something is happening, they will call the police, they will call
yeah,
911,
they call
and
it.
they won't answer on time. It's when the stuff has happened and everything has cleared, that's when you just see them that they drive their van in for what? It's useless already. There is no need for it already.
I
Imagine that same, is it not that same area they kidnapped 20 students and two staffs? Where are they today? Have they been rescued? We only had they kidnapped them. Have they been rescued? No result, no report. And still the same thing is still happening again. What is their security doing there? How tight
well,
is their securities?
talking about those security, I usually say, I usually call onto the government, because right now at this point that we are right now, even the security agency themselves would not want it to be at risk, because they don't have enough equipment for whatever they are going to be fighting or facing out there. And I feel like our government right now should stand and then make let me say, how will I say it, a partnership with other country security agencies that will
For
come and then help us out on this, because this has become something that is now become a norm that's happening every day, and then it's really becoming a tragic for us
the
that some people are now going to be getting used to it, while some people will feel like, if I'm going out today, if I don't get kidnapped, thank God. If I get kidnapped,
Alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah. And if I got killed at the process, that I was like, it's not supposed to be
Imagine
like
people
that.
people 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 have to leave their home in fear of, will I come back home?
Like,
Will
will
I
I
not
return?
come back?
That this is that our government is losing a whole lot of people, and then I don't even know what the future is spoiling for us. But right now, I don't even think that it's looking bright at all.
What's your opinion?
Well, thank you for joining us. We have come to the end of today's show. I've been your host, Bella. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Same time, same station. Bye.